Iranian forces launch a covert assault on U.S. assets. In the inky blackness of the Persian Gulf, a shadow of war creeps forward. On August 16, 2025, just before dawn, 150 nautical miles off the coast of Bahrain, Iran's boldest strike in years unfolds in silence. In under 45 minutes, they've unleashed 20 fast attack craft, sleek and deadly, slicing through the warm waves toward a vulnerable U.S. oil rig. These vessels pack a devastating punch. Each one hauls 4 light armored vehicles, weighing 40 tons apiece, 2 personnel carriers, and a squad of about 20 elite Iranian Marines, hardened by years of asymmetric warfare. Together, the fleet delivers 80 light armored vehicles, 40 personnel carriers, and 400 heavily armed troops straight into the heart of American interests. Their arsenal is a nightmare arsenal. More than 200,000 rounds of high-velocity ammunition, 500 anti-ship missiles, each with a warhead capable of piercing steel hulls, enough shaped explosives to crumple an entire oil rig in less than 30 minutes, turning steel beams into twisted scrap. The target? A remote U.S.-operated oil platform, home to just 250 workers and guarded by minimal security. A single automated radar system scanning 250 square miles of open sea. It's the soft underbelly of America's energy lifeline in the Gulf, a choke point for global shipping lanes. Iran's goal is ruthless. Storm the rig, overwhelm its defenses, and transform it into a fortified outpost. From there, launch deeper strikes to disrupt oil flows and seize control of vital routes, to slip past watchful eyes. They've gone dark. Engines hum in stealth mode, muffled to dodge sonar pings and thermal scans from satellites above. Communications pulse through 5 and 12-bit military encryption, unbreakable walls of code. The formation and scatters like innocent merchant ships, tankers, and freighters on routine hauls, blending into the Gulf's busy traffic. On the command deck of the lead craft, Iranian officers pore over digital maps and assault timetables. Timers tick down. Coordinates lock in. They whisper of victory, certain the element of surprise is theirs. America, they reason, is distracted. Its forces spread thin across the region. No alarms have sounded. No patrols have materialized. The path ahead looks clear. The rig ripe for the taking. What if this was the spark that ignited a new Gulf showdown? Is Iran walking into oblivion? Let's uncover the deadly truth. If you sense the storm building, what would you do in their place? Press on or turn back? Convinced they had the element of surprise, they believed the United States was blind to their approach. But at 70,000 feet above, undetectable by radar, a U.S. stealth UAV monitored their every action, relaying updates every 4 seconds to Naval Command. The feed was crystal clear, heat signatures from idling engines, the faint glow of encrypted radios, even the thermal outlines of Marines on deck. From the instant the UAV acquired the Iranian fleet, U.S. Naval Command in Bahrain surged into high gear. Full-spectrum intel poured in every 4 seconds, down to the pulse of individual heartbeats amid the waves. In less than 60 seconds, encrypted alerts flashed to CENTCOM hubs, igniting Operation Desert Fury, a blistering Counterstrike protocol engineered to erase any raiding force in under 12 minutes flat. The playbook was surgical. Hold fire. Draw them deeper into the kill box. A death trap 18 nautical miles wide and 30 long, where layered U.S. assets could unleash hell on every target at once. No escapes. No survivors slipping through. Assets snapped online in triplicate. 70 MQ-9 Reaper drones, each slung with 2 500-pound precision-guided bombs, amassing 70,000 pounds of explosive fury. The Los Angeles-class attack submarine USS Texas glided into position at 750 feet deep, running silent at 28 knots. Her arsenal primed, 32 Mark 50 heavyweight torpedoes for hull-crushing blows, and 10 Tomahawk blocks, 6 cruise missiles for standoff annihilation. Shore-based muscle rounded it out. 2 missile batteries locked and loaded with 20 AGM-158C LRASM anti-ship missiles, each packing a 550-pound warhead designed to gut a vessel from stem to stern. In the ops center, 12 massive digital screens painted the picture. Iranian speed clocked at 15 knots. Entry into the kill box projected in 25 minutes. Commanders watched the icons creep forward, tension coiling like a spring. Iran's skippers scanned empty horizons. Radars cleaned, oblivious to the drone swarm at 35,000 feet overhead or the sub lurking 10 miles astern. The noose pulled taut. When it snapped, it would deliver over 90 tons of ordnance in the first 60 seconds if you were in command. Would you strike the Iranian raiders now or wait for the perfect kill zone? The choice could mean victory or a drawn-out mess. Before the US ambush activates, please like and subscribe to our channel for more. The Iranian fleet entered the unseen perimeter of the US kill box at 03:42 a.m. on August 16, 2025. The countdown shifted from minutes to heartbeats. Encrypted bursts fired from Bahrain Command to the 70 MQ-9 Reaper drones orbiting in silence at 35,000 feet. Each drone's ANAC 37 sensor suite snapped onto assigned targets, laser-guided eyes unblinking. These weren't prototypes, they were proven hunters, capable of dropping payloads from 15 miles out with accuracy inside a 1-meter circle. At 03:42:08, the first barrage unleashed. 140 GBU-39 small-diameter bombs plummeted, each packing 250 pounds of high-explosive penetrators laced with Blue 109 submunitions to shred armor and ignite fuel. Streaking at Mach 1, 2 in steep dives, they hammered the 8-lead Iranian craft in a blistering 3.9 seconds. Catastrophe bloomed. One vessel detonated in a 250-foot fireball, its onboard light armored vehicles erupting in secondary blasts that hurled 18 tons of jagged metal skyward, raining down like shrapnel hail. Another craft's hull cracked wide, flinging personnel carriers into the churning sea like discarded wreckage. Shock waves rippled outward, slamming troops 150 yards distant overboard. Their screams lost in the roar. The Iranian formation shattered like glass. Vessels veered wildly to dodge flaming husks, their tight defensive cluster fracturing into chaos. That's when the second drone wave struck. Another 140 bombs rained into the mid and tail sections, pulverizing sensor masts, exploding ammo caches, and torching diesel reserves. By 03:42:53, just 45 seconds from the opener, 12 Iranian ships wallowed, either listing fatally or swallowed in infernos that lit the Gulf like dawn. Casualties skyrocketed. 150 Iranian Marines confirmed dead in that savage minute. Scores more maimed, pinned in flooding compartments as water surged through breached decks. Panic gripped the survivors, commands fracturing amid the din. Meanwhile, USS Texas, poised 7 nautical miles astern at depth, unleashed her fury. 3 Mark 50 torpedoes lanced out at 60 knots, their advanced acoustic homing zeroing on the keels of fleeing craft. Impacts generated underwater blasts exceeding 600 psi, snapping spines like twigs. One ship folded in half, bow and stern plunging separately in under 70 seconds. Another rolled violently, spilling armored vehicles into the abyss as her hull imploded. Iranian comms descended into bedlam. Those 512-bit encrypted lines, meant for seamless raids, clogged with frantic overlaps, maydays, please, garbled orders. Skippers barked for evasive turns. Some gunned for shallow shoals, desperate to beach and salvage troops. But the drones pivoted mercilessly. Yet the onslaught raged on. The coastal batteries hadn't loosed a shot. At 03:44, the ragged remnants, scarcely half the original 20 craft, bolted in retreat, props churning foam at flank speed. No sanctuary awaited. They lingered in the crosshairs of those shore emplacements, camouflaged along Bahraini cliffs, arcs overlapping in lethal harmony. The command, fire all. In 5 seconds flat, 20 AGM-158C LRASM missiles streaked from silos. Each 14 feet of stealthy death weighing 400 pounds, skimming at Mach 0.9 mere feet above the waves to evade detection. GPS and infrared homing guided them true. Terminal phases climbing for the kill. The volley smashed 4 retreating hulls near simultaneously. One craft's bridge vanished in a blinding detonation. its missile racks holding over 15,000 rounds, cooking off in a chain that illuminated 12 miles of sea. Another LRASM bored into an engine bay, sparking 8,000 gallons of fuel into a billowing firestorm that scorched the night. USS Texas piled on, her integrated fire control syncing with drone feeds to launch 2 Tomahawk Block 6 missiles at smoke-shrouded holdouts, hurtling at 550 mph, barely 50 feet over the swells. Their 1-0-pound warheads punched through decks before erupting inside. Both marks disintegrated, one cleaved amidships, the other capsizing in a frothy whirlpool within 50 seconds. Overhead, the last 15 Reapers hunted remnants, swapping to AGM-179 JAGM missiles, 110-pound Seekers with tandem warheads for piercing and blasting. They picked off life rafts and dinghies ferrying desperate Marines toward imagined safety, warheads detonating in sprays of foam and debris. By 03:50 a.m., the final coherent Iranian vessel perished, torched, holed, or adrift in impotence amid oil slicks and wreckage. The Gulf transformed, vast patches of iridescent fuel slicks stretching miles, punctuated by floating hulks, smoldering debris fields, and the acrid stench of cordite and burning polymers hanging thick. By 04:15 a.m., the skirmish concluded. The Persian Gulf bore scars of utter devastation. 18 Iranian fast attack craft lay at the bottom. 2 more crippled husks soon scuttled by follow-on strikes. 250 elite Marines perished in the blaze and depths, while 150 survivors bobbed amid the wreckage, soon to be captives. Every last one of the 80 light armored vehicles and 40 personnel carriers vanished into the sea, along with heaps of munitions, thousands of tons of twisted metal and unexploded ordnance now littering the seabed. The operation clocked in under 8 minutes from initial drone release to final missile impact. The kill rate, flawless. 100% of Iran's raiding force neutralized. U.S. losses, 0 fatalities. Not a single soul wounded in combat. U.S. Navy recovery squads mobilized swiftly. MH-60S Seahawk helicopters chopping the air overhead. Rotors thrummed as they skimmed the 85-degree waters. Winches dropping to haul in the dazed and broken. Of the 400 Marines who'd embarked with dreams of conquest, 150 emerged as prisoners, many ravaged by burns that seared flesh, hypothermia nipping at extremities despite the warmth, and shock waves that left internal wounds unseen. Medics worked feverishly, stabilizing the hull aboard waiting destroyers. Political shock waves rippled outward, immediate and fierce. Global networks looped footage of the failed raid. Analysts dubbing it the swiftest naval rout since Operation Praying Mantis in '88, where U.S. forces had similarly crushed Iranian assets with overwhelming might and scant cost. In Tehran, officials scrambled, spinning narratives of sabotage or miscalculation to mask the humiliation of an entire task force vaporized in minutes. Denials echoed, but the world watched skeptically. For America, the statement thundered. Any incursion on its Gulf holdings would invite coordinated oblivion. Within 48 hours, U.S. Navy enlistment queries surged 50%. Young recruits drawn to the aura of invincible tech and unyielding resolve. Defense think tanks globally dissected the balance, re-evaluating power projections in the volatile Gulf, where choke points like Hormuz now seemed fortified by invisible shields. Strategically, the raid etched a new doctrine into stone: instant, layered, absolute response. Iran's credibility cratered, its planners confronting the harsh truth that American eyes pierced every shadow. Strikes landing with surgical inevitability far beyond their forecasts. The forfeiture of those senior officers, coupled with seized intel, shredded veils of secrecy, exposing the full debacle. Nations nursing parallel ambitions, covert raids. Asymmetric grabs hushed their war rooms, rethinking naval tactics in an era where stealth fleets and coded whispers offered no sanctuary. The kill box, once a whispered U.S. stratagem, now blazed on the international stage, its efficacy proven in fire and ruin. Behind the pyrotechnics and headlines lurked the human core. U.S. sailors and pilots who executed flawlessly, emerging unscathed, their vigilance a shield without flaw. The drone operators who'd stared at screens for hours, mapping every twitch. The submariners in USS Texas's confines, fingers steady on triggers. The planners who'd opted for patience, holding until the trap snapped perfect. Their discipline forged victory from potential quagmire. In the aftermath, the Gulf lapsed into wary calm. But that calm wasn't truce. It was deterrence, hammered from exactitude, restraint, and devastating force. If you feel tales like this demand sharing, to warn, to inspire, then back the channel, subscribe, hit like on this video, drop your insights in the comments, because the lessons of history hold value only if we elect to heed them. Disclaimer: this content is a work of fiction, intended for entertainment purposes only. Any resemblance to real events, places, or people is coincidental. The content does not represent the official views of any organization and does not promote violence, illegal behavior, or discrimination. Viewers should exercise their own judgment and not use this content for purposes other than entertainment.